In this video, we are going to talk about the much-anticipated movie The Purge 6. Purge is an American anthology media franchise centered on a series of dystopian action horror films distributed by Universal Pictures and produced by Blumhouse Productions and Platinum Dunes, all of which were written and, in some cases, directed by James DeMonaco, who was inspired by the Star Trek The Original Series episode The Return of the Archons. The films depict a seemingly normal, crime-free America in the not-too-distant future. However, the country is a dystopia in which all crimes, including murder, are decriminalized for 12 hours each year. The Purge, the first film in the franchise, was released in 2013 and was directed by creator DeMonaco, who also directed 2 of the sequels and wrote the screenplays for all of the films in the series. The Forever Purge, the 5th installment, was released on July 2, 2021. The franchise has spawned a 20-episode television series, which premiered on September 4, 2018, and concluded on December 17, 2019. DeMonaco wrote its pilot episode. The franchise has received mixed reviews, primarily due to the screenwriting and clichéd stories, but it has been praised for the concept, acting style, and action sequences. The franchise has grossed over $450 million overall, despite a $53 million production budget. So before we get into the latest Purge news, let's go back to the beginning. The Purge 2013. Ethan Hawke, Lena Headey, Max Burkholder, Adelaide Kane, Edwin Hodge, Reese Wakefield, Tony Aller, and Aria Barikis star in The Purge. The plot revolves around a wealthy family who made their fortune by selling security systems for use during the annual Purge. Despite receiving mixed reviews, the film grossed $89.3 million during its run, far outstripping its $3 million budget. Due to its success, the film was transformed into a scare zone for Universal Parks and Resorts' annual Halloween Horror Nights in 2014. The Purge Anarchy 2014. The Purge Anarchy, which was released in the US on July 18, 2014, stars Frank Grillo, Carmen Ejogo, Zach Gilford, Keel Sanchez, Zoe Soul, and Michael K. Williams, with Edwin Hodge briefly reprising his role as the stranger from the first film. Unlike the first Purge film, which was entirely set in one house during the carnage, Anarchy follows a waitress and her daughter as they travel around the LA area during the annual Purge, eventually encountering an anti-Purge group that offers them some protection. The film received generally mixed reviews, though many critics agreed it was a significant improvement over the first film, and it was a box office success, grossing $111.9 million versus its $9 million budget. The Purge Election Year 2016. On July 1, 2016, the 3rd installment was released. Frank Grillo and Edwin Hodge reprised their roles from the previous film and are joined by Elizabeth Mitchell, who plays Senator Charlie Roan. On October 6, it was announced that James DeMonaco would return to write and direct the 3rd film, as would producers Sebastian K. Lemercier, Blumhouse Productions' Jason Blum, and Platinum Dunes partners Michael Bay, Brad Fuller, and Andrew Form. The filming started on September 16 in Woonsocket, Rhode Island. The film is set in the U.S. during a presidential election year. The election pits a member of the new Founding Fathers against a senator who wants to end the annual Purge after losing her family in the Purge when she was a teenager. The film received mixed reviews from critics and went on to gross more than $118 million worldwide against a budget of $10 million, making it the series' second highest grossing film. The first Purge 2018. In September 2016, James DeMonaco, who has written and directed all 3 films in the series, revealed that the 4th would be a prequel to the trilogy. The film depicts how the U.S. came to accept the Purge. The story takes place on Staten Island in New York City. As the title suggests, it is about the very first experiment in the U.S. to combat crime and poverty. For those who choose to participate, the island is completely closed down, and those who wear contact lenses with a built-in camera during the Purge will be paid $5,000 for staying on Staten Island, as well as additional money for full participation. DeMonaco announced in February 2017 that a 4th installment was in the works. DeMonaco returned to write the script, and Jason Blum, Michael Bay, Brad Fuller, and Andrew Form joined Sebastian K. Lemercier to produce the film. Darren Jacob was signed to direct the film in July 2017, and production began in September 2017 in Buffalo, New York. The film was released on July 4, 2018, to mixed reviews from critics, and it went on to gross over $137 million worldwide on a $13 million budget, making it the franchise's highest grossing entry. The Forever Purge 2021. In October 2018, The Purge creator James DeMonaco stated that the fifth film would be the final in the series, stating that it would be a cool ending, how we take this one home. Everardo Valerio Gaut was announced as the film's director in August 2019. Universal Pictures had planned to release the film in the US on July 10, 2020. The film was postponed indefinitely in May 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The film was rescheduled for July 9, 2021 in July 2020. It was pushed back a week to July 2, 2021 in April 2021. The film takes place 14 years after election year, when the re-elected new Founding Fathers of America have reinstated the Purge. In response to 8 years without a purge, an anti-immigrant hate group known as the Forever Purge continues to purge after the purge has ended, destroying the government and seizing control of major cities across the country to begin what they call a purification of the country, which primarily targets immigrants and the upper class. Now on to the latest Purge 6 update, which foreshadows a bleak future for the horror film. Franchise star Frank Grillo has provided an update on The Purge 6, painting a bleak future for the horror film and its potential release. The sixth film in the Purge franchise has received a depressing update from franchise star Frank Grillo, who suggests that the highly anticipated sequel may not be coming anytime soon. Grillo previously played Sergeant Leo Barnes in the films The Purge Anarchy and The Purge Election Year. Despite the fact that his character has not appeared since the third installment of the Purge film franchise, the sixth installment will focus on Barnes and will be his final appearance. Grillo paints a bleak future for The Purge 6 and its possible future release in an interview with comicbook.com. He confirmed the completion of the script and the involvement of Jason Blum and Michael Bay in the film, but he also stated that The Purge 6 is no longer being prioritized for production. But Universe and Blum have not. They are simply putting it on the back burner. It was hot for about a minute. It was hot for a second. Then it wasn't. What Frank Grillo's revised version means for the Purge franchise. With Universal and Blumhouse seemingly no longer prioritizing The Purge, it may be some time before The Purge 6 is produced and released. The next film in the series has been teased as Grillo's final, with the plot possibly focusing on a remapped America following the events of the Forever Purge. If The Purge 6 is set to address the titular event's impact on America as a whole, it will be a much larger scale film with a much broader focus than previous Purge films. The Purge films may not be big box office hits, but each film in the series has done well for its budget. This means that the franchise will most likely continue in some form, but other ongoing film projects may take precedence for the time being. Blumhouse is working on the fifth installment of the Insidious franchise, Insidious: The Red Door, as well as a new The Exorcist film and a Five Nights at Freddy's adaptation, all of which are set to be released this year. It's possible that The Purge 6 hasn't yet been squeezed into their hectic film schedule. That also means there's no telling when The Purge 6 will be released or if Grillo will be available to reprise his role when it does. There is still a chance that another film in the Purge franchise will be made, but for the time being the series appears to be on hold. Grillo appears to be patiently waiting to return to The Purge for another horrific night as Barnes until production is announced. Well, that's it. For now, we bring an end to this video. Thanks for watching the video. We'll see you at the next one.